Welcome back to the podcast, Catch It, A New Perception. My name is Kit Duke. Please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share this podcast with other people that you think could appreciate it and or benefit from it. As we move forward in this season, we're going to continue to talk about a line that I've heard. And I think about how some of them are pretty big, rather vague, pretty open, and some of them are very specific, and they maybe are harder for people to expand on. And the line I was thinking of today is, if you can't change the world, change yourself. What does that mean to you? And for some people, I get it. Do you even have a desire to change the world? Is the world perfect just the way it is? Or do you believe you can't impact it? Do you believe that it won't make a difference? I'm under the impression the things that I've believed have come true. That if I walk through the world thinking I won't make an impression on someone, if I walk through the world thinking I'll never make a change, it won't happen. I don't have the ability to make it happen when I don't believe that it will, and I do no action towards making it happen. If you can't change the world, change yourself. It's interesting to think about it because many of us, even if it's only at a moment, many of us in this lifetime have had a desire to change the world or change something in the world. Use different terminology if you don't like this terminology. And I say that because I think that people have a desire to change something. They want to. They don't know how to. So, can you make a change in yourself? Do you want to? Do you have a desire to? Do you have an ability to? Do you want to but not know how to, or not know how to? I sometimes use terminology I'd rather not. If you can't change the world, change yourself. One moment at a time. And I say that because the more that I change one thing in me, the bigger impact I can have on the world. Will this podcast ever change the world? Well, if it does, chances are, if it doesn't get any bigger than what it is right now, with a couple hundred subscribers, 125 videos out, whatever it is, if it doesn't get any bigger, do I impact the world? Possibly. Maybe I'll change the whole world through this podcast because it reaches someone. And that someone has enough hope to do something different in their life. And they impact somebody else. And they impact somebody else. And that person goes out and impacts all kinds of people. And one of those people that they impact changes the world because of something they heard on this podcast. Chances are it may be the only way that this podcast or myself ever changes the world. And maybe not. Chances are maybe that's not true. Maybe it's bigger than this. Maybe it's something that we don't even realize that we're doing and we could change the world. And then we have the belief that we don't know how to, or we don't know that it will ever happen. What do we do? Can we change ourselves enough? What action are we going to take? It's the essence of the podcast, again, as I often speak of it, because there is a very large essence to it, so it encompasses many different things. And the essence of this podcast is to change ourselves so we can live with ourselves. So when we wake up, we're happy with what we did yesterday. The future looks good. The future looks bright. The future looks possible. A given day seems doable. There was a time in my life where I didn't know how to get through the day. I didn't know if I would get through the day. I didn't want to get through the day. I've had those days in my lifetime. I've done a lot of work to get where I'm at, and I've been influenced by a lot of people, and there's been a lot of people who have impacted my life that have changed the world as I see it. Because of the things that they have gifted me. They've taken time with me. They gave me the gift and they had the generosity of time, and they offered that time with me. Sometimes I'm very emotionally sensitive when I speak of this because many of you people cannot fathom where it was that I once was. You cannot fathom how far down I had taken it into a rabbit hole and how difficult life was for me on any given day. Things have been very difficult. I've had some trauma. I've worked through some things. As I've told you before in this podcast, I am not a victim. I'm not a survivor. I can tell you matter-of-factly when we speak individually about some details of some things that have happened in my life that are difficult. And today I'm going to share this journey in a general way. So when I speak in a general way and I say that I've had some troubles, that's true. I do not need to give the details on a podcast like this. The details are for an individual, truly. And they have been shared with mentors of mine and people I've mentored both. Because I need to share it both ways, because that's the only way that I will ever change the world. Is by sharing it with a mentor so I change something in me. By sharing it with someone that I mentor so I possibly impact them. Now, can I change something in them? No, I cannot. I cannot change anything in any other human being ever. Can I impact them so they can change themselves? That's what this is about. When I change myself and I impact somebody else, then they change themselves. You change who you are. I don't change you. I don't have the ability to make you feel a certain way or think a certain way. I have the ability to share an experience with you, to share my journey with you. I have that ability. And then what you make of it will allow you to either change or not change. Allow you to be who you want to be today. Allow you to see the future differently. That's because of who you are. If you don't get anything out of this podcast, it's because of who you are. If you get something out of this podcast, it's because you opened your mind or you opened your heart enough to be able to receive that gift today. Maybe through that creator, through that mystery. Maybe through your spirit guides, maybe through your mind, through your heart. You opened it up enough to be able to receive something, to change something. So if this changes you, it's because of you, not because of me. I think it's so huge to understand that we change ourselves by the impact that others have had on us, by the impact that the world has had on us. And sometimes those changes haven't always been for the better in a given day. And today, when I change myself, it's all about being able to do it in a better way. And I say that because I don't know the impact sometimes that I have on myself. By being able to reach out to someone else and they respond, and only because of what I said could they respond the way they did. And the way they responded now impacts me. So have I impacted myself? Possibly. Will I continue to? Possibly. And I say that because I don't always want it to be one way. Recently, not long ago, I was listening to a podcast, Quantum Healthy, and this guest that was on there was really great. I couldn't help but to hear some of the terminology. As we spoke about terminology specifically on at least 3 episodes in the first 120, if not more, he kept using terminology that I try to stay away from. And I used some terminology a moment ago. Earlier in this podcast, I'd rather not, so therefore I tried to restate it and just let it be. Nevertheless, I try to not say everyone, no one, everything, nothing, because I don't know any of those things. I don't want the absolutes because I don't know the truth of the absolutes. And I heard this man, brilliant in many ways. Very brilliant man. Morley, I believe was his name. And he said numerous times in this hour and a half episode. By at least the third time, I knew it had been the third time, if not fourth already. He said, nobody knows this. And I'm thinking, well, then you don't know it. Nobody knows it. If nobody knows it, nobody knows it. There's no statement after that. If nobody knows it, there is no statement that could come after that that is true. I had a mentor in my life that used that term, and maybe that's why it stood out to me. I'm under the impression this man that was speaking knew what he was talking about, and he knew it, and he said, nobody knows this, and that is not a fact, and that is not correct terminology. I believe that to be true. And again, it's only my own perception. I often have talked about this. If you can't change the world, change yourself. This is what I've often talked about. I will tell someone will ask me what the name of my podcast is. I will tell them, catch it, a new perception. And they repeat to me more often than anything else, they repeat back to me, catch it, a new perspective. And I say, no, that is not it. Perspective is geometry. Perception is the mind. Perspective is how you see something, like geometry. The perception is the mind. The perspective is out here. It's 3D. You turn it, it looks different. That's a different perspective. This is a different perception. Is this changing the world? To help people understand terminology or not understand terminology? I get it. Terminology changes through generations. From one generation to the next, it's not the same. On a regular basis, I go through a book that's 90 years old almost. The terminology is much different. The people that wrote the book learned, their teachers were taught in the 1800s. The terminology they used was much different. The way that they wrote often was much different. They used the word man when they spoke of mankind. They say men rather than mankind. Just terminology. I get it. At the time, I don't think people thought much of it when it was written. Today, it seems a bit archaic to me. Nevertheless, what I'm talking about is how do we impact ourselves? How do we impact the world? How do we change ourselves? It's an internal job. It's by the things that we do externally. Now, what I do and what you may be doing are two different things externally. I'm going to go out and do some speaking engagements, and I'm going to do some workshops. I'm going to do some seminars. I'm going to do some life coaching. I'm going to go out and I'm going to reach out to some people. And how much they change has to do with who they are, and I know that. This is what I'm talking about. How much I change has to do with the actions that I take. If you can't change the world, change yourself. And if you can't change yourself, change the world. I believe that you will impact someone when you change yourself. When you take and change the perception that you had into something different, into something new, I truly believe that you will impact people differently and you will change the world. The more people you can touch, the more people you can reach out to, the bigger chance you have of changing the world. Looking forward to next time. And what if this is the biggest change you'll ever make? Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Dok Shao, okay?